welcome to another episode of Pull the Charts. This episode and the series coming with this is Watch the Wives. And this is going to be part one, and this is Erika Kirk. So we all know her husband was just assassinated. So we are going to look at the wives, and we've decided to start with her because she's the most relevant right now. So I'm going to pull up her chart, and we'll just dive right in. This is Erika. She was born November 20th, 1988 in Scottsdale, Arizona. We do not have a birth time. She is a Scorpio Sun, and she's definitely an Aries Moon, because even if we backtrack to midnight the next day, she is definitely an Aries Moon. So, first impressions. Now, I'm a Scorpio Sun. Patty is a Scorpio or an Aries Moon. So here we go. Would you want to mess with us? Okay. All right. So we don't know her birth time, so we don't know her rising sign. She is, I believe, Swedish, because you see her hair, because I kept looking at her hair. She's got this like crazy long hair, and I don't think it's extensions because of like her, I believe she's Swedish, her background. I think that's all her hair. She had, it was amazing.
Yeah, she strikes me as a very natural person.
Well, hair-wise. Okay. We'll see. I know, I kind of wonder if because she has so much hair, if it's genetics or if she maybe has a little bit of satirizing. So here we go. So Scorpio Sun. She's very private and reserved. As I was going through her Wikipedia biography, like Googling about her, you actually, she has two kids, but you don't know the dates that her children were born. She's very private about her parts of her personal life, which I can appreciate. And Patty, I'm sure you appreciate too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She is fixed water. I feel like sometimes Scorpios can get a bad rap, but I feel like we take notice of everything and then we sting when we're prodded to the point of needing to sting.
Mhm.
So the fact that her sun is in Scorpio and it's ruled by Mars in ancient and Pluto now, Pluto in its home sign of Scorpio and Mars in its home sign of Aries. I mean, I wouldn't mess with her. I just right there, I'm like, woo, hands off.
Right.
She's smart. She can calculate. She pays attention. And then she has that conjunct with the Mercury. So she is like, so when your Sun and Mercury are conjunct, right, your mental and your personal like personality is very tightly, what would you call it? Like tightly channeled together, your mental thoughts, who you are. Um, and because it's in Scorpio, like she can overcome anything. This is the Phoenix who rises. She will overcome. And she's got the willpower and the drive for this transformation. So, what are your initial thoughts on this?
Oh, well, I think she is a powerhouse. I also believe she is probably um, very protective of what she believes in. I think that she would, I mean, literally don the cape and come in and save the world, really. She has so much Mars, her Mars, her own personal Mars in the sign of Aries, an Aries moon, Mars ruled sun. Yeah, she's a fighter, knows what she believes in and will bring it home that way.
Yeah, especially with that Sun trine with Mars. She
Hmm.
will, she's gonna accomplish what she sets out for.
Yeah, I agree.
So she also has her sun across from the Jupiter there.
Mhm.
So oppositions here. Do you have any thoughts on this alignment of um so I'll tell you one thing that as I was reading too is that Jupiter and Gemini can oftentimes have more than one marriage.
Mm.
They could be a bit temperamental. And I was like, ooh, and it's across from her sun. So, I mean, you can have like the blind optimism as well, but also like it can make things kind of blow up a little bigger too. But also
Yeah,
she can be like a lifelong student and teacher. So it really depends on how she weighs and balances it. I feel like she'd ask a lot of questions and you wouldn't realize that it was investigative or could be
that's a
used
really
against
good
you.
point. That's a really good point.
I
Yeah.
honestly think I'd be taking notes and being like, this will come back to haunt you later. This is
Hmm.
the one person I'll say, like, with that Mars and Aries, I don't normally think of Scorpios having that revenge bit to them until you have like that Mars and Scorpio. But I gotta tell you, like, there's a couple of things here where I don't think I'd cross her.
No, no. And you know, an opposition carries the signature of Saturn. So it's, you know, it's the pulling apart of something, right? Which camp are you in? So I do see her as a Scorpio sun, not really forthcoming. Faithful, loyal, deep.
Mhm.
Loyalty is probably, and especially with all that Aries, loyalty is her, I would say, her creed almost. So if you cross that, you're treading in dangerous waters. So her Scorpio sun opposing that Jupiter, who naturally expands,
Mhm.
you know, he naturally expands. Good or not good, it doesn't matter. He just expands whatever there is.
Yeah.
So he was reversed when he went into or retrograde when
Yeah,
he
when she
went
was
into
born.
Gemini.
Only for the
Yeah, I see
first.
her. I do see her keeping her cards close.
I think she asks the right questions, but I also feel like she could keep that like light, chatty talk. Like she could do the small talk. She's not gonna love
Hmm.
it, but I think she can do it.
Yeah,
So her moon in Aries. You are a moon in Aries.
yeah,
Does she have
yeah.
patience or has she worked to like cultivate it?
I think that, you know, the moon is how you keep your soul happy, you know. So I think if you keep her on the move, if you keep her engaged, you know, keep, you know, her busy, her mind busy. I think I don't think it has anything to do with patience or impatience, but I do feel like to keep her soothed, you know, soothing herself, she does need activity and action and those kinds of things. I think her Venus, look at her chart. So the ruler of Aries in Aries, the ruler of Libra, Venus in her Libra, you know, she's so everything is lined up for her
Mhm.
in a way, you know, that everything just kind of flows. It just flows.
So do
And so,
you think that because they say oftentimes Aries moons can have a little bit of jealousy or want to dominate their partner at times?
I think that is probably true at when you're younger, but as we get older, that tends to calm down a
Often.
little bit. There's bigger things to tackle than that.
Okay. And then how do you feel about that? Well, the Venus in Libra. She's very fair. And honestly, I think that could really help calm
Yeah.
it Also with
I
that,
think she will always have the right thing to say.
and she
And
was
she's
very decent.
beautiful. She's beautiful,
She
you know.
was a Miss Arizona 2012.
Hmm. Yeah.
So she also has that sextile from Venus to Uranus. So she's very magnetic as well.
Hmm.
A lot of
Hmm.
charisma, very charming, opens a lot of doors for her, which we know these pageants tend to, right?
Hmm.
I believe she
Right.
was like a political science major and she has some other majors too, but yeah, it definitely, I kind of wondered like, did she go to the Miss USA pageant and then did she meet Donald Trump? Was he like doing him at the time? Like I kind of wondered that. Like I was like, oh my gosh, has she met him before?
Oh, maybe.
I know,
Maybe.
right? I don't know when he took over
Yeah.
the pageant, so I don't know which one of the pageants he ran or worked or whatever. Uh, Okay, so her Mars, let's jump down to her Mars, is
Hmm.
square Saturn in Capricorn. How do you think she feels about authorities? And feel like she can like butt up against structure. And either that or I feel like she's going to be the hard person of like, this is the law and therefore the law should be followed as thus, which would be very biblical a little bit. So
Yeah. But I mean, I feel that she's solid in a sense too, you know. She knows what she stands for. She knows what she believes in. She knows what she'll fight for, you know. So yeah, I would see her go toe to toe with any structure that wants to
attack her
change the way
structure,
she thinks. Yeah,
her beliefs.
I do. Hmm.
So she's almost a cap stack there, just that her
Almost.
Uranus isn't in Capricorn.
Hmm.
And then she has the Mars squares Neptune, which that can be pretty magnetic. If you use it properly, but
Exactly.
also like I think she's got to also be careful with, but that doesn't cure drugs, alcohol, or anything like that.
No,
Also, I think you might need to be careful with contracts and deceitful people around you. So she just needs to be aware of people that might want to take advantage of her situations here.
I
So
don't
they
know.
say like Saturn and Capricorn, they really follow the code of ethics and like reinforces family pride and honor, which you had mentioned
Hmm.
before, like that's huge for her. Plus,
Right.
she was a political science major. She has her own businesses, but also can appear cold and astute, which made me think about when she gave her speech um, 2 days after his passing. And people were like, wow, like she stood there very like, which first of all, I don't know how she did that. Way stronger than me. But the fact that she stood there, but I was like, yeah, you kind of have to be the rock at that point. Like she is the rock standing holding onto the chair. It's like, oh, you do see some of these parts come out a little bit. I did look at the Saturn conjunct the Uranus, which is like, I can do it my way attitude. And then Saturn and Neptune can be very much like operating with your own version of like logic and reason.
Hmm.
So it's just, I mean, she could definitely be distrustful of others, which I think as you move up the scale of fame, recognition, wealth, like you probably do have to be very, very careful of people coming to take advantage of you.
Hmm. I just feel like she's too smart for that.
I hope so.
I really do. Like, I just feel like she's just too smart for that.
So she has her Chiron in Cancer,
Hmm.
which usually is more of a mother wound, but like her mother seems to be very have been mother is still alive and The only really background I found on the mother is like she used to go with her mother to soup kitchens. So I'm curious like how that mother moon comes out, unless it has to do with
I
the
I would I would entertain a different way with that
relationship.
one. Maybe, you know, perhaps she's the mother that heals.
Okay. Maybe she's already moved on to like the healing phase.
Mhm. Or perhaps, she has a soft spot for children who are without a mother, or, has something to heal from that kind of situation.
Well, it trines her North Node in Pisces.
Hmm.
Pluto also trines that North Node, which makes me think like whatever she's going to do in terms of like her purpose probably has something to do with like a nurturing, compassionate, transformative
Yeah.
way to bring this out to the whole world. As I would say, like Pisces, the last sign.
Also very spiritual.
Hmm.
I don't know, I see it as a mark of spirituality and how she's going to be probably perceived in the future.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up her chart with some of the asteroids really quick, and so then I can just give you a little rundown
Hmm.
about the asteroids in her chart. Because since she is a woman with this Chiron in Cancer, which you just mentioned, we'll go through each of the four and see how they play in her chart. Because as we go through, when we look at some of the major moments in her life, and especially over this past week, it has lit up these asteroids in a way that is just kind of mind blowing a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out.
Great.
Follow along for part 2 of the Erika Kirk chart. In this next part, we will explore the asteroids Ceres, Pallas, Vesta, and Juno, and you will be amazed at how her chart and her purpose truly come alive through these 4 asteroids. Follow, like, and subscribe.